The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Whether you're new to sales or a lifetime veteran, the Blackbelt Sales Podcast will sharpen your sword and guide you to master the art of sales. And now, here's your host, the ninja himself, Gene Slade.
Welcome back, everybody. Don Johnson,
Yes.
What's up, big man?
Good morning. Thanks for putting this together. This is going to be been an awesome week, but an awesome day. So let's drop some nuggets of gold for everybody and let them get on back to their world. So I think we talked about let's put in
you
there
were getting ready to say
replay.
live or replay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I cut you off. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Let's get live or replay down in there so we know we're watching this. I like the way you explain it. That's just one of those little things that helps us, know if we can interact with you right now or if it's just later. So go ahead and do that for us and share this or get this out to other people. We'd love to help other people as well. So go ahead, Gene.
That's the fee, right? That's the fee for us bringing you guys all of these nuggets and information. We spend a lot of time, effort, money, and labor to bring this stuff to you and to bring you the guests that we bring you. Don and I are going to be doing these lives on Tuesdays and Thursdays moving forward. So you might want to set your calendar for 10:30 Eastern time on Tuesdays and Thursdays so that you can grab these videos live. You can also interact with us in the comments and ask us questions, and Brittany can put those questions up on the screen, and we can help you with whatever you need on these lives as well. But on Tuesday, we were talking about call volumes being down and the difference between a hunter and gatherer type of mentality. Don, could you explain that a little bit more, please?
Yeah, that hunter, which we tend
hunter
to
farmer.
be
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. But the hunter tends to be the reactionary nature, and it's kind of what most of us think that's what we're supposed to be, and that is, I don't have my numbers aren't good this week, my call volume's not good today, whatever, and we go into a panic, and life becomes a chaos or just constantly trying to put out fires, and it's not the way business owners want to be, but yet it's what we think that's the way we're supposed to be. But there is a balance. The more you farm or plant for your future, the less you have to really panic about, I got to kill something today or we don't make payroll tomorrow mentality, right? We grow the company by farming, by planting seeds, by growing relationship, by growing our customer base. We know all that's kind of common sense, and I get that that's kind of like tell us something new. But in this world of immediate gratification, we often just say, what do I do to make a sale today? That's it. And then guess what? We got to do it again tomorrow. And you can only have so many sales that until the customer just says, you never have anything special. You're just always on sale, right? You can't throw all your promotions out there constantly, or you're just teaching your customers to wait for the next promotion. So how do we grow a future without stealing all the sales today? And that's what's going to get us through this, is planting our seeds for next spring. That's really what for my business, the November, December, January, February, that third of the year was all about making us successful March through, the end of the year, March through October. That segment where we make our big money, we've got to be farming. We've got to be planting the seeds. We got to be getting ready. We got to grow our customers. We got to be trained so that when we're in front of them, we can make the most of everything we do. So long-term process, short-term process. So, and it is a balance in this real world. If you had enough, and I've thought about this, if I go back into business, I don't have to be the hunter for the first day or first week or first month. I could carry myself for 3 or 4 months, 6 months, whatever, to get all the systems in place. But that's not every business can do that. You have to do some of the immediate. But if you forget the future, man, you're going to be in a lifetime of that chaos management, fire, putting the next fire out. I didn't want to live like that. I didn't want my business like that. So I did everything I could to farm for the future and get the success for our people. So we talked a lot about the techniques, some of the immediate things to do, just to summarize.
I have a question, Don.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Before we jump into that real quick, I just want to say something, then I'm going to let you roll with that. If you guys out there are seeing that your call volumes are up right now, will you please put that in the comments? Just put up. If you've got a percentage, that'd be great. If you're seeing that they're down, will you put down and a percentage if you have it? We just want to know in the different areas of the country what you're seeing. Are call volumes up or are call volumes down? And then on Tuesday, we talked about the hunter versus farmer type mentality. And we're now talking about how you want to have both of them. You need to have both of them, especially if you've been caught off guard by low call volumes. It doesn't take a whole lot to change with the banking system and interest rates and inflation for banks to make fast changes that affect us in a big, big way, right? So we talked Tuesday about the hunter side of it and what to do if you haven't been a farmer and you get caught by low call volume and you're in a panic, what to do. But now Don's going to take over on the farmer side and some of the things you can do to plant seeds for the future so that when these types of things happen, you don't have to panic. And if anything, you get more excited because there's opportunity out there because other people are panicking and you can scoop up businesses, sometimes for pennies on the dollar.
And scoop up employees right now as well. When other companies are struggling, their people will be in the market. They may still be working at the other company, but they've got this worry. Things are changing around here. And there's a lot of things changing at a lot of companies right now, especially some of the consolidated ones, the ones that acquired a lot of companies in the last few years. There's a lot of stories of, people, the original people leaving. I left my company this last year. Things are changing. New management goes into place, all sorts of things. And health insurance changes, benefit changes, commission levels change a lot. So all that being said is there's opportunity to pick up people. But don't go out and pick up people and think they're the solution. You've got to have your own process. And the process is really, how do I train my people so they go run my calls and make the most out of every opportunity we get. So that's part of the hunting side of it, is make the most call by call management. Follow up, the summary of everything in the past. Follow up on all your open quotes. Follow up on all your service calls and just ask, why didn't they go, get on our maintenance plan? Why didn't they whatever they didn't do? And then they'll open up and talk a little bit about, can you say more about that? And it might lead to the conversation where you realize that we can still salvage this and we can do some immediate business. Following up on your existing service tickets for the last year is certainly a hunter technique that will work extremely well. Maybe even change the whole way you do your company. You'll do that for forever because it won't really be a chaos. You'll build a process for it. So now on to some of the farming or the plant the seeds for the future. Everybody's told us that our maintenance agreements are kind of our future. And we've heard that for years. Maintenance agreements are great, but maintenance agreements are cheap marketing. They're actually people, marketing and leads are cost to us, right? As the business owner, a lead costs us money. But every time you put somebody in a maintenance program, they're paying you to be a lead. So it reverses the equation, is that people are paying you and they're the lead. So Maintenance agreements bring your cost of advertising way, way down so that you can push the envelope if you need to some of the ones that might not necessarily have done, but you've got such a base. So service agreements are part of this farming in future. My dad would almost say it's like putting a fence around your garden and keeping all the rabbits from coming there and eating all your vegetables. Yes, sir.
When you said that, you made me think of another hunter technique that, and I'm sure we covered it last week, but it's worth recapping, and that is outbounding to your existing base who are not on a maintenance agreement. That could be considered hunting something that was farmed, right, a long time ago.
Yeah.
So
yes.
super, super important. And when you were saying, Don, that this is a great time to acquire talent from other companies, immediately my mind said, if that's my company, I'm going to have my people outbounding like constantly, making sure the schedule's full. That way, when that person comes over, they see that everybody is working, right?
Yes.
If they come back into the same thing that they had at their other company, it's going to be bad. So at my first company, when we came in the morning, if the entire schedule wasn't full or a call dropped off, everything stopped in that office and everybody got on the phone. And we used to joke, and my GM, Erlene, she would come out onto the balcony and she'd go, "All right, ladies, we need a call. Dial till your fingers bleed. Let's get it going." Like that was the joke inside the office. And nobody stopped calling until we filled that schedule. Guys, at the end of the day, I wanted to know what was the average number of calls that each of my guys ran. And if they didn't run 3 calls, I wanted to know why. Was it our fault? Did we not fill the schedule, or was it their fault and they decided to go home? Or did they get on 2 calls and sold everything and we're good with that, right? So sorry about that, Don. I'm going to take you back.
Yeah, as the business owner, I would always tell my people the perfect number of calls per day is 1. Go out, sell them a $8,900 Breathe Easy package and stay there the rest of the day doing all the work. I am totally happy with that. Now, dispatchers would blow a gasket and say, "But I've got all this schedule." Do we want to run 5 calls and make $500, or do we want to run 1 call and make $8,900? If your bonus is based on the revenue that we do, wouldn't you feel like that $8,900 is the way to go? So it's a mindset with your people that says keep them busy, but don't penalize them or rush them through the calls either, right?
Amen.
Keep them maximizing every call that we're on. And if call volumes are down by 50%, I don't know that I've seen that, but I definitely will say that it's harder to fill the schedule than it used to be, that from all the conversations I'm having. And if that's the case, then we have to get better at selling more at each call just to stay even. Look, let's stay even for these next few years, and then we'll talk about growing. That's, again, I think you can even grow through this, but first level is let's stay even. Let's stay even. If we grow our average ticket closing ratio, revenue per lead, which is puts those two together, the new way of measuring success is revenue per call, revenue per lead, doesn't matter which word you use there, but revenue per call that you go on. If we raise that, when we go back to our old level of call volume, we're going to see a tremendous pop in our growth on our top line and bottom line, but we're going to see tremendous
Very
growth.
good point.
Grow our revenue per lead. And again, we define lead as if it's a service guy, every call they go on, and a lead for a comfort advisor is every call they go on, right? It's just every time they go and meet someone, that's a lead. Everything in this world is a lead opportunity. So the farming side of this, those maintenance agreements are really good. Even if you say, okay, my average cost from Google local services or from Angie's List or whatever you're doing is some number, $40, $30, $40, $50, even 2 or 3 times that, then why not look at our maintenance program as that cheap alternative, right? How much does it cost to run that tune-up? I do have some real world costs. I've got some labor involved. I've got some coil cleaner involved. I got a truck going out there. Let's figure that number and realistically know that everyone who spent for us $400, some years 300, but $400 or more should have been offered a service agreement to lower their price and to get on our maintenance plan. So go back and retroactively, like, give those away. Retroactively say, we were checking your, we go through our system, we were checking, and we noticed we made a mistake, and we just want to bring it to your attention. We're not perfect, but we and your call qualified for a follow-up maintenance plan of 1 year, has 2 visits, has 1 visit, has whatever you want it to be here. And we're just scheduling that right now for this week, next week, Christmas, first of the year. Doesn't really matter what it is, but grant everyone you saw this year that paid you $300, $400, $500 in your zip codes. Again, if that doesn't produce you a big enough list, then you have to grow your service area. That's a thought process you have to go through. But top 10 zip codes, every call you went on should have had a maintenance agreement. And if they paid you $300, they certainly should have had a maintenance agreement. Go back and figure how many of those that we could just give them a Christmas gift. That is a maintenance agreement. Go see them maybe after Christmas, maybe spring, and use that as part of our technique. Yes, sir. Gene?
So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking devil's advocate, because I know that there are some people out there that are going, you're giving it away for free. But I don't think sometimes we think about the alternative. A maintenance agreement gives me 2 opportunities per year. What does a new opportunity cost you? How much does a new customer cost? It could be anywhere from $50 to $500 for a new client. But even if it was only $50 per call that I had to market, I'm spending $100 versus not spending $100, right?
And let's say you have to spend the same $50. Let's just say $50 to get a Google lead. And it really costs you real world $50 to send a technician out there for an hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on the area of the country, pay rates and things. But all that being put together, do you want to send Google your $50, or do you want to send the $50 to your employees? Their employees would like to see that money. You're giving it to your employees, and then the customer gets the benefit. But if I'm spending $50, I really want to take care of the family of my employees, the family of my employees. And one way you take care of their families is keeping them working, keeping them busy.
Right.
Might not necessarily tell them I want them to work late on Christmas Eve and all day Christmas Day, but I certainly want them to work every day, every work day up till then, every weekday up till then, because that's what's going to be. So why send Google your money when we can give it to our employees? But again, we got to make sure our employees are playing our game. And I call that business as a game. And our game is go out, be thorough, write everything down, document it. And when it's over 10 years old, at least have the equipment option conversation and go from there. And if you have comfort advisors, you get them involved on every call over 10 years old. If you're willing to pay that game for me as the business owner, I'm willing to give you the money that I would have given Google. And look how much happier we all are. Our employer and really our credit card's got a little room to breathe on it because Google's not killing us all the time. And I'll take all the Google leads I can get too. But you get the idea that if I have to make a choice, my employees are more important to me than Google. So
right.
If I have to make a choice, and sometimes we do this time of year have to make a choice on money, and we just have to make sure our guys are playing the game. And one way to keep them busy is looking back to our existing customers and seeing what we can get. Now, once we have all those service agreements, we still need to be giving them value. And again, I am a big believer in email. You mentioned on our last live, we chatted, and that email. And a lot of people nobody reads email. Email's dead. I still get hundreds a day, and it's okay Sometimes I open them, sometimes I don't, but I still remember that. Oh yeah, I like getting emails from Sonos speakers because I love stereo. It's high, surround sound equipment. I like that stuff. So I don't opt off their list because someday I might be ready to buy one, even though I'm not today. So we start using email as an education tool, and it's relatively cheap. Find your program. I used a program called Entreport. Cost me about $250 a month. I would probably go with Chirp nowadays, or at least I would look at all the options.
What are we
But
going to spend
email
per month, Don, for email software?
I was doing it for about 200. The better systems you can get now are closer to $400, and I'm okay with $400. If you added it to the email side or marketing side to Service Titan, it's probably going to cost you $400 a month. I'm not saying I had both, but I wasn't as big of a fan of the Service Titan marketing part as I was doing it with a third party program, Entreport, what we used, but again, Chirp, what I'd consider nowadays. The difference, and they both had their role. A Service Titan was good for a one-off email. Man, we got something we got to do immediate. Boom, that hunter mentality. They'll throw something out there. The farmer mentality was more the automation, and it would just every time somebody went in our database, they got an email from us once a month. I put it really on a every 4-week schedule. That's really once a month, but every 4 weeks they'll actually get an extra one a year. Nobody notices that. It still looks once a month, but every 4 weeks that they would just get another email from us.
And I thought that you had said that you had like 80 emails a year or something.
Yeah, I do have. I did have and set up about 80 emails that I used. Some would be like a 10 email series on Breathe Easy, or a 10 email series on water filtration, or 10 email series on other little items, surge protectors. I don't think it was about 3 or 4 on surge protectors, but a series of emails all about a service that we did. A product maybe, but try not to make it a product. Make it the service that includes the product, which is a little bit different. Because if you only educate them on the product, they can buy the product from anyone. So be careful about educating product knowledge. It's the service knowledge, or most of the emails should be about the negative effects, the pain of bad stuff in our air, chlorine in our water, lightning strikes, not the solution. So the email isn't really about an AG3000 surge protector. It's about the negative effect, how often we get lightning strikes and how bad they are to our electrical components, not the solution. The solution is hinted in there, but it's not all about that. There are guys out there that have done well on product reviews, but be careful about doing too much product review, because you just really gave them the ability to say, I can buy that from anyone. And
yep.
I love, in the training, we talk about this quite a bit. I know we're right at our time lane, but our job is to make our customers feel good about buying from us, not just buying, right? We want them to buy from us. We only benefit if they buy from us, and we can only stand behind it and make sure that someone doesn't take advantage of them if they buy from us. So we have to make them feel good about buying from us. And the farming side was this once a month education. Now, it was even more than that. If they opened a once a month email and clicked the link about indoor air quality, then they got 10 more emails about every other week during this same time frame that educated them on indoor air quality. And if they click the link the next month on plumbing, then they might get more emails about that. So if someone never opened an email, maybe in theory they got one email a month from us. Maybe there was a second one that happened, but very little. The people who interacted with you got more. The people who interacted even more got even more information. And again, we utilized email quite well. 90,000 emails a month. Every time I hear other companies talk about emails and how many they're sending out, I hear 5,000, 6,000. We were sending 90,000 to 100,000 a month. And 100,000 was our max before we got charged an extra fee. So my goal was to get it as close to 100,000 without having to pay that fee. 100,000 cost me $300 or $200, and 101,000 cost me $400. I can just put that 100 off. That I could put off that last 1,000. It wasn't that important to me. So I maximized it, 90 to 100,000 planned every month. And if I started going over that, I started figuring out, okay, is clean up my list a little bit. That's usually what I did. I had about 25,000 emails that were deliverable emails. My email list might have been 30,000, but you'll get badge, you'll get opt-outs, you'll get things of that nature. And even if people opt out, it's okay. I think you told the story the other day. They still might buy from you. They still, you've planted the seed enough before they opted out. They may still get something on another channel and still do business with you. It's okay if people
just
opt
because
out.
I opt out of an email list doesn't mean that I don't like the product or won't buy the product in the future. I just don't want to be annoyed by the emails, and it's not right timing for me. Right?
Exactly. And
guys, if you're
sometimes
watching
people
this
will bring
live,
you back in the list. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, guys, if you're watching this live, could you please put live down in the comments? That's the fee for the show. Okay. If you're watching it on a replay, please watch it on a replay. Don, can I give them one more farming technique, and then I'll pass it back to you and we'll wrap up?
Yeah, that sounds great.
So this is something that's not specific to younger or newer contractors in the business, but it's something that really helps to I think the best way that I could say this is, would you be opposed to becoming a local celebrity in your area? And if the answer is no, that you wouldn't be opposed to that, and you would be willing to put yourself out there, one of the strongest things you can do to build a good foundation is to utilize social media. And the way that I would utilize social media is I would go out on a service or a maintenance call today. I would find a problem, and then I would do a 60-second or maybe 90-second video on that problem and how these things can actually be prevented. I might plug the maintenance agreement, and then afterwards I would say, listen, guys, if you ever need anything, here's my cell phone number. Just go ahead and text me. Put it right on the video at the bottom of the screen, right? And just do one of those videos each and every day. Some of my students began to do this, and they became recognized in their area. They would walk into Lowe's, and people would walk up to them and go, hey, you're the AC guy. I see your videos online. Hey, I really appreciate you actually putting those out for us. Are you guys, can we talk about one of those maintenance plans? They literally will start to come up to you. You're building a trusted brand, right? Your name is your brand right now. And if you're a technician out there, you want to be doing this as well, especially if one day you feel like you might want to do your own thing. Can you see how that would benefit you if one day, let's say the world fell apart and you decided to start your own business, you already have this following here. The biggest challenge that contractors have getting started is, where do I get my leads, and how do I compete with the behemoths out there? How do I compete with the guys that are spending $50,000 or $100,000 a month just on PPC, right? It's tough, really, really tough. So that is one way that you can start to farm and plant those seeds, continue to water them, and they'll turn into plants, and you'll be able to harvest. All right, Don, I'm going to pass it back to you.
And I love that idea. And what I would, again, add to it is, if the information is evergreen is a word you'll hear, meaning that it's timely year round. It's not just that you said, hey, it's Christmas, thank you. If it's information that's good forever into the future, for a long time into the future, well, what you do is you add that to your email program.
Yep.
And you write a email, and the email is really nothing but an advertisement about the video. Hey, and it might be something as simple. You want it to sound personal. Hey, I just did this video recently, and I thought you might find it interesting. Here it is. And there's your link back to YouTube, wherever your channel, all of that info. That's your email. Some of those 90,000 emails were the 5-word emails. Just, hey, here's some info for you. Let me know if you like it. Are you still considering doing something about the air quality in your home? That was an email. That was one email. They don't have to be these thesis dissertations. They can be just a simple 2 or 3 sentences. Yes, sir, Gene.
And guys, when you're doing these videos and you're putting them on social media, don't get hung up on that you did the same video last week, right? Because when you put something out onto social media, they only show it to a very small percentage of people, like maybe 10 or 20 people. And there's a clock that starts running. And if those people don't interact with that social post, the authority or the ranking of that post, the importance of it goes down, right? So don't think that just because you put this video out that all your followers got to see it. I bet you only 1% really get to see it. It could be 10% get to see it. But don't get discouraged by people not liking or interacting with you on the videos. They're seeing them. Trust me, they're seeing them. I have a professional mode on my social where I can see insights about how many people a post is reaching. And I might only have 50 likes on it and 8 comments, but I go into the insights and it reached, 1,600 people, right? So you can also do that for yourself if you get to a certain point on social and you go into a professional mode on it.
When you take all the methods to talk to someone, video, Facebook posts, and and your email, and even text message, and even postcards. I don't push postcards through the conversation because you're spending about $1 a piece on them, but we utilize some postcards as well. When you put all of these together and they have a consistent message, they do better. You don't say, well, nobody responded to this, I'll jump to something else. Stay consistent with what you talk about. And our businesses are fairly simple. We advertise tune-ups. We go to people's houses. We inspect their systems. We show them a list. When they need equipment, we help them get happily involved with a new system, and we install it, and we do it again and again and again. So make your business process pretty simple, but make all the channels have a similar sounding message. And again, great video. I just got 100 views of this. Thought you might be interested about the chlorine in the water. I just did a water test. If you're a plumber, did a water test in the Hoover area. You're going to want to see this. And now all your text message, email, video can all play to that one item, and then you don't have to say, and we sell these systems that clean up the water. They pretty much get that implied with you just showing the negative effects. You're going to want to get something done about this. You're going to want to get the water in your home tested before.
Sell the problem.
Yeah. And then let us know. Let us know if you'd like to have the water tested, or if you would like to test it yourself. Most people will say, oh, how do I test it myself? And you at least get some interactions. So I think we're at about at the time we planned. I want to mention a couple of things before we go, and that is, our mansion event, training event that's coming up for sales training. You saw the video earlier. If you didn't, go back on the replay. But the video, what's coming up is awesome. The training is incredible. We also have 2 other groups, 2 other things that we do. Business owners and our Profit Coach Mastermind. It was yesterday at 1:00 Eastern time on a Facebook group. The link, if you'll just put that in the message, you want some information, Profit Coach or PCM, Profit Coach Mastermind. You can get into that group and be in there free for the rest of this month, and just interact with other business owners, interact with Gene, interact with me at no cost for an extra hour. That in itself is why you should be there. And then we have, if you're service or comfort advisor, we have a group, the Lead Ninja Masterminds, where we get together twice a week. an hour on Tuesday, an hour on Thursday, and we
To
just talk
become better
sales,
hunters.
to become better at making the most out of every call. Today we were dealing a lot with the price objection, or let me talk to the spouse, which turns into the price objection. So that stuff is out there. We'd love to have you if you're interested in knowing anything about any of those. Put that in the comments, and we'll get you some information about it. Gene, anything else you'd like to cover before we wrap
Yeah,
up?
if there's anything specific that you guys need help with, would you please put it in the comments for us? If you'll do that, then we'll go ahead and put it on the docket to discuss that. That way, we're able to help you with specific needs that you guys might have. So if you need help with anything, just put it right down in the comments for us.
Right.
Looked like you were taking a breath, getting ready to say something.
No, I'm good. I appreciate getting together with you. I enjoy doing these, and I hope we're gathering and bringing you some information that can help business owners out there.
If you guys want more information on the next class coming up, put Mansion in the comments. If you want information on the twice a week training Don was talking about that we do with technicians and comfort advisors, put Mastermind down below. All right, guys, we love you. Have yourself a great day. Please share the stream, and we will see you on Tuesday, if not before.
Boom.
See you.
Have a great day. Thanks.